What's up guys, V here, and in today's video I want to show you kind of the differences between the new NZXT H9 Flow and compare it to my modified Lian 011 Dynamic EVO. I've been a pretty big fan of the 011 Dynamic series. I had the original one and then I got the EVO, and I modified both of them. I love both of them, they look great, but there is a new competitor in town and we want to take a look at it. Now, for one, the airflow in the NZXT H9 Flow is one of the best that I've personally seen. The mesh and everything, kind of the way that they designed it, it just has, by design, more airflow, less restrictive airflow. As you can see on screen, the difference in the mesh size and the holes and all of that, it's quite a big difference, and you could tell right away it's gonna have better airflow. So in terms of build quality, I don't know, something about the 011 Dynamic just has more of a premium feel in my opinion. The 011 Dynamic does feel a little bit more rigid. Even with the mod, it just feels more rigid. It feels more solid, like it's not gonna break or bend or anything. And I think that has to do with the fact that the H9 is taller and it's just bigger overall. So I think that's why it feels that way. But if I had to say, they're probably about the same quality. I don't think there's any real difference in quality. I didn't notice any defectiveness or anything wrong with the H9 versus the 011 Dynamic. And now that leads me to the quality of the build, like how you build in the case. Now, as you can see in my 011 Dynamic, I have my radiator in here, literally in between here, and it fits just fine. And then the pipes are at the bottom, and the hoses go behind the GPU and they hide right up there. Now, if I vertically mounted my GPU in there, I could probably do something similar. However, the fans are much closer towards the back, which I really do not like in the case. Now, I know it's made for 140 fans and 120s, but so is this, and they did it where the fans sit more forward versus more back. So if they changed it to allow those in the H9 to sit further forward, it would look a lot better. That's one thing about the H9. It just looks like it has a lot of dead space inside because it's so big. Now, I understand that they probably designed that case for more of a custom water loop with a lot of radiators and stuff, which is great because you could go insane with this and the extra space is wonderful, especially if you're water cooling. That's not to say that the extra space isn't a welcome addition for a regular build like this. Even if it were air cooled, it would be perfectly fine, and it has great airflow for an air cooled build. So that's something to keep in mind. There is a little more dead space in here than there is in here. Now, one thing that I absolutely did not like about building in that case, the front glass does not come off. Unless it does, then please let me know how, but I don't believe the front glass comes off. I think it's glued on. I do prefer the glass to come off, and this one does not. So it was very awkward when I was building in it. I had to go like this all the way around and try to like feed those fan wires in and stuff. It's not a big deal because you're only gonna build once, I guess. So you can see the inside of both now. These things kind of get in the way, and they do help a little bit with cable management, but in all honesty, it gets in the way more than it helps. In there, all they have is the little straps in the center, and you can see the cable management in there. Just looks a little more open and a little better, in my opinion. However, keep in mind that it's slightly bigger case and whatever, but it just kind of works better. Like this is supposed to go here, just like that. And you always got to remove it versus that was super convenient during building and cable management. And then you just close it and it's magnetic. It does have 2 screws which you can put back in, but it's a pretty strong magnet, so that's that. But yeah, as you can see, both cases have plenty of space in the rear. That one definitely has a little more space, but it is a bigger case and they don't have all these brackets and stuff. Now, as for price, that is extremely appealing. I think I got it for $169 or $59. I don't remember the exact amount. It was like roughly $170 after tax and stuff. This, however, is closer to that $200 mark. and with tax, it was over 200. That being said, you do have to remember something about this case. This case was designed with, how do you say it, modularity? It was very modular. And you can actually flip the whole case over and build in it upside down by moving the feet to the top and the top to the bottom and flip it and all of that. Even with my mod, I can do that. And I've seen some pretty wild builds with that. So now, obviously, a lot of people love the H9 because of the seamless corner. And I couldn't agree more with them. I have my own version of it, right? And I've had it for, what, 2 years now? I had the original modded and now this one. So yeah, roughly 2 years, I want to say. So clearly I love the mod. I love the seamless look. They definitely did it better than I could, obviously. I mean, they have a whole factory. And I love the fact that the glass is cut at an angle and it's such a slim line. It's insane how tiny that line is. Versus mine, you can see it's quite a bit bigger because the glass pieces kind of overlap. It's not as small. Doesn't really bother me, but yeah, that is clean. That is wonderful. So NZXT, props to you. That is absolutely wonderful. You know what the funny part is? The hilarious part about this whole comparison is, to me, when I designed this case for my build, when I decided I'm gonna swap over from my old 011, modify the EVO, do the glass, get a white case, paint the inside black. You know where I got that idea from? Yeah, NZXT. NZXT cases always had the white outside and the black inside, and it just looked so cool to me. And that's why I did that. And then I modified it. So I'm kind of surprised they don't offer an Oreo version of theirs. Like a black and white, you know, a white outside, black inside. It would just hide everything so much better. And it looks very nice, as you can see here. Obviously, personal preference, etc., etc. And I did do black fans and black fans on the top and bottom, and then the white fans on the sides. So it gives it that really nice black look, and it just hides everything so well. Like even my pipes right here, they just sort of blend in. They kind of hide, and it's really nice. But that's, again, personal preference. Now let's put the 011 dynamic to the side. Although I'm not going to move it because it's heavy and it's plugged in and all that. I'll move it later. But let's not talk about the 011 right now. Okay? Let's focus completely on the H9 flow. So here's the pros and cons. The pros are that it looks absolutely stunning. It has wonderful, absolutely killer airflow. Easy to build in. Quite well priced, especially considering it comes with 5 fans. Although the fans aren't great, but hey, it does come with them and they are white. So unless you get the black version, then, you know, whatever. And you don't have to do anything to make it look good. No offense to, you know, I had to modify it. So right out of the box for $159 or $69, bam, got yourself a wonderful, beautiful looking case. The cons, to me, there's no grommets, which I'm sure you could custom make something if you really wanted to. Although that kind of goes against what I just said about, you know, not having to modify it. But yeah, grommets for that would be absolutely amazing. So NZXT, if you're watching, sell some grommets. That'd be cool, right? Just for that hole, and maybe somehow cover up some of that hole. I don't know. It just doesn't look pleasing to me when I'm looking in the case and I see cables all the way back there. The other con, but this is just for me, is that little bar right there that is really annoying for the, you know, you see my 24 pin. I tried to put it in there as nice as possible. And it's funny because they have a glass right there. That's glass. It's not just like it's not empty space. It's glass. So you can't put anything through the side. So like you're trying to show off the cables, but then the cables don't fit beautifully. So it's kind of, I don't know, maybe like this little like out portion right here, make it further out. I really don't know. The only other con I can really think of is the legs. It just looks like a skipped leg day. I don't know. It doesn't match the case. The case is all boxy, and I see what they were doing with it. I like this better, but then again, I like my angles and stuff, so that's that. But that's not really a con, that's just a personal preference, just like that little thing there. So all in all I can think of is 0 cons, because all of them that I listed are personal preference. I'm glad to see that cases are or companies are making cases with that clear mod. It just looks so good, and it just makes it look different than what was out there previously, although now every company is copying that, so it's gonna be normal soon. So if you have any other questions about the H9, feel free to leave them in the comments. I'll try to answer if I can. And if you like content like this, feel free to subscribe. It is always free. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.